but
it's not
Nice.
great for
Yeah, for just
great for real
life
estate deals.
in
Most
general.
real estate deals don't happen on WhatsApp.
Hello, Monica. How is your crazy leg healing? Have you guys seen, if you don't get grossed out, the picture of her like surgery scar is intense.
Yeah.
It's intense.
I get my stitches out on next Tuesday. I
Mhm.
can't put pressure on my leg for 3 more weeks, and I should be walking hopefully completely by December. So I'm doing good. Trying to keep my spirits up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're halfway there.
I'm
So
halfway there. I have great care. I have a lot of work to do. Off my pain meds, which is tough, but I'm doing it. Yeah, so now I'm clear-minded.
oh good. Well, if you need any help with people, we got a bunch of people here.
Oh, you
to
guys are
help.
great. The best team ever. And I'm just going to put it out there that thank you to Ashley and Amanda, who have been right there showing for my clients. And I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, for your like half clients, she got a Zillow lead and I went and showed them. And they're like, oh, we saw this other house yesterday. And I'm like, oh, so I mean, it's good. I was able to fill in for Monica. Did you see her like, her injury? They're like, oh no, we had like Cynthia show us that. And then we had our agent Arturo write the offer.
Oh.
And I'm like, just so you know, like, and I kind of educated a bit. And they're like, oh, Arturo didn't tell us that. And I'm like, oh, like, choose somebody. Like, Monica's great. I'm trying to like talk up Monica. But yeah, I mean, it was just like I didn't know anything about buying houses before I got into real estate. I knew nothing. So, but you'd think you'd like choose a person. Just go with one person. But yeah, I mean, maybe they would have been nightmare clients anyways, and so you were saved a bit from from that. You never know.
Thank you.
Okay, people ready for things? We'll do stuff and things. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay. Ready. Every sale has 5 basic obstacles: no need, no money, no hurry, no desire, no trust. Very true.
No hurry is a big problem right now. So many
Yeah.
people just kind of get off the fence.
A little bit. Or I
Shake
saw
that
this
fence.
meme the other day. It was like a stick figure with a little like holding onto a stick and just poking houses, like millennials waiting for the crash. And it was kind of funny. I was actually going to put that up here today, but I had to wake up early. I'm happy. So, yeah, the no hurry part's interesting because there's still like no houses to choose from. So you kind of like gotta hurry,
Yeah.
but interest rates suck. I get it.
But as soon as they don't,
Yeah.
you'll be competing.
Yeah. Then you're hurrying more and then you're stressed.
Yeah.
And then you're competing with people.
Yeah.
Like, listen to us. Trust us.
It's gonna be something.
Yeah. Yep. As always, be TCPA compliant. Yeah, and if for anybody that's gonna go to family reunion, you're gonna hear the same thing probably like 12 times in a 5-day period. They're shoving it down the throat. It's good though. It's good.
It must be like a big problem then across the board.
Well,
They had to settle it.
uh, yeah, and it was like big money, right? Well, yeah.
They're going
Probably
after
not
individuals,
individuals.
right? Like they're going after individual realtors.
I think,
they
yeah.
can catch 'em.
I think one of you mentioned that.
They're like,
They are doing that, and if it does go through KWI, they will no longer be covering, they're gonna be filtering it down to those that are responsible.
Yeah, so big money, don't do it. What is that noise? Is that outside?
It's pure
Air compressor.
Oh, God, it does sound like an air compressor. If you guys were, we're in the office coming to sales rally, you'd hear the noise we're talking about. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, next. Our usual top 5, killing it. Let's see, Sydney and Kara have a close battle. Yeah,
Let's do another one. Yeah.
Like Jeff and Brian are like
go up
neck and
the same
neck
amount.
in there.
it's just, the battle's right here, these two and these two. Oh, yeah, Jeff and Brian are real close.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
That's, yeah. And, I believe, well, I know Jeff, well, I won't, let me get to that slide to make sure I'm not gonna give anybody wrong information. Oh, and the teams, look at that. You guys are like $40. Or wait, no. Did I mention that I had to wake up at 7? I had to clean a house. Stop laughing at me. The people that have kids don't understand. I have a dog that sleeps till like noon. So there's no reason. My buyers keep not listening to me and they keep like scheduling inspections without like me. So they're like, oh, like inspectors ready at like 8 a.m. Another guy at 8:30, another one at 9:15. Like
I have to.
yeah, it's fine. I can do it. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna mess up like multiple words today. Cause yeah, I'm not, if I would quit your job, I would be unemployed. I don't care.
Look at that.
Okay, new listings. Lots of woohoos. Yeah, whole bunch. And if anybody, so this is just the 5th through the 11th. And I believe the last time I was not pulling up vacant land. So if you do not see your name, then that means I'm doing it incorrect for a second time. So let me know. But I'm pretty sure I'm pulling it right this time.
I don't think you are.
What?
I don't think you are.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I had a closing on the 7th.
This is next week.
Oh, new listings, my bad.
Your name is on the closing.
I
one.
saw that one.
It is.
Yeah, you
It's
got
on
that
there.
one figured out.
Look at that. Look at that.
Okay, there you go. You're welcome.
Yeah. Kelly actually put these ones. Oh, that's fine. As long as collectively we're doing an okay job. That's fine. And I'm having too much fun with memes and gifts and stuff. So if you guys have more to send for next week, I'll be overly happy about it. So Canva's pretty fantastic.
Ninjas blazer, I like that.
Yeah. And then what is the name of this show?
Modern Family, yeah.
Yeah, I love the awkwardness that this guy just portrays. It's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, perfect balance of funny and just awkward. Okay. See what's happening.
Price reduction.
More price reduction
Mhm.
and 2 increases. Oh,
Yeah, the increases are always funny.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's either like a typo or they
That's usually.
put a
what it
bunch
is.
of, yeah, yeah,
More
pretty
stuff
often.
pending,
Listing expired.
more stuff expiring already.
So it's the same amount canceled, like it's like so close to the last, but like a lot more price reduction.
And I'm sure a lot of the expired ones are in Chelan. I mean, it seems like the majority are Chelan, like in Manson, and just all those like high price range. Or the,
They just like expire and then they go right back on with like the same, it was like a whoopsies, we forgot to extend it. Sorry, I'm doing.
yeah. We'll call them. Check your do not call list. Call them. And as always, I can help with that if needed, because the website is stupid, in my opinion. Any opinions on the market? Any Zoom people comments? We got no faces on here.
Couple things.
A little bit, couple faces. Okay. Okay, true or false? Buyers can change lenders without the seller's permission.
The trick question.
Oh.
Sometimes if it's before your 5-day application period.
Oh,
But if it's after that and you're 22A. then
So yes, true, but. Why'd you laugh at that? Okay, yeah, the buyer switches lenders without the seller's permission. After 5 days, then it will waive their financing contingency. And there's a couple other things too. There's a whole paragraph, so read your forms in depth until you know them, because it's a big deal. Yeah, because this will waive the whole thing, and there's a form to get it in writing, right, Marcia, to where you check boxes.
I
And
have an interesting
Sydney, yeah.
anecdote on this. So I had this deal in North Bend this year that was an FHA rehab loan, and it was really, really complicated. And we had a mortgage broker who brokered it out to an FHA rehab guy. And the seller ended up being really unhappy with the buyers because they asked for this really big price reduction, and they said, absolutely, like, we can't do it unless you come down to this price. And then she said, no, we're gonna go back on the market. And they said, never mind, we figured out a way to do it. And I was like, You guys, that makes us look so bad, like she's not gonna trust a word that we say from now on. So she tried every way she could to get us out of the contract, and this is one of the ones she used. They sent us, like a seller cancellation, and they're like, you switched lenders without her permission. But because it was like through the brokerage, like it wasn't us switching lenders. So I like called the broker right away. I was like, we didn't switch lenders, right? Like this is not correct. And he's like, no, let me call her and calm her down from it. Anyway, we didn't close, but it was.
Yeah.
The seller like hated us and was looking for every single loophole to bump us out of the contract because they had a backup that was higher than us. They wanted us out.
Fun battle, dang. Well, and it's like, what I don't get, it's like, you know how we have permission on the Form 22A to call the lender. Like if we're the listing agent, we have the right to, but anytime like me and Estella were trying to call a lender the other day, yesterday, and they're like, oh, well, we don't have permission from the buyers to speak to you, or like, we can't tell you that, Kelly, don't take a picture of me today. What's it here? He's not gonna care.
Just sit down.
Standing right on your face.
But yeah, it's like they never want to talk to us and give us information, but it's like we have permission to get information from you because one of the little lines is like, if your application wasn't done within 5 days. But it's like the only way we really know when the application date is if it doesn't show it on a pre-approval. It's like from the lender. The lender
And then
can
after
speak
your
to
seller's
us.
notice to perform date hits, then it's in the contract.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
The
Vanessa.
lenders have a form that they have the borrower sign to allow them to talk to other people on their behalf. So until they have that form signed, maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah. And you just think. Michael will say
Your
some
favorite.
things here soon. He is my favorite. Making
Well,
a
I
blush.
can kind of talk on that, what she just mentioned. So that's a borrower authorization form. That gives us permission to gain information from the borrower, basically the borrower's employer. And it allows us to get, like if someone's selling a home and buying another home, it allows us to get the purchase and sale and information from the escrow company that's handling the sale, because we're not directly related to that. It doesn't necessarily give us permission to talk about anything regarding the borrower's financing in relation to personal data. So when I call a listing agent, I talk to them and say, hey, I'll give some generic information. I'm not going to tell them how, necessarily, I'll tell them kind of what field they're in as far as employment. It's steady. Usually, let's say if they're a police officer, they're a government employee, they've been doing it for quite a few years. They've got plenty of money in the bank. They've got some reserves. We've had an underwriter look at it and everything's been approved and it's ready to move forward at this point. So we keep it very generic because we can't actually give too much information, but we can give enough to give people some validation that, hey, this is a strong buyer and they're ready to go. But we are limited as to what we can, like, if we have to send any emails that have borrower information, technically we're supposed to send it to the borrower and then the borrower sends it to whoever they want to. Unless we have written permission that allows us. And even then, most of the time we'll just say, hey, forward this over to the borrower. Or if the buyer's agent is deeply involved and they've given permission, then we can use the agent as well. So just some clarification on the borrower authorization is it doesn't give us as much power as I think some people might think, but it does give us a little bit just to get information on the borrower's behalf.
Even after mutual, if a listing agent calls for like what day did they apply, did they have like funds, because then that's information. Too.
Sorry, your mic kind of cut out a little bit.
So if we're mutual, your buyer's approved, the listing agent is wanting to call you to say, what day did they apply for their loan? Did they have sufficient funds? That sort of thing, because like.
Oh, absolutely. You guys have a form too. I don't remember what it's called, but it has a whole checklist of everything that we're supposed to have received. I can't remember where it is in the contract and it's not used very often.
I feel like there was a form they used to have that they don't have anymore.
Okay, did they get rid of that one?
You can search, you can do a little search.
Okay.
That'd be good. There's a million forms, so.
But I mean, honestly, if you're calling a lender and they're giving you any sort of pushback, probably wouldn't use them. I mean, I talk to listing agents and agents all day long, and that should be, I mean, we all work together, so there should be no reason why a lender should be giving any pushback as far as just where the file's at, so on and so forth. Let's all work together as a team and not, jump on each other's cases about the small little intricate things. I mean, we're all working towards the same goal. At least that's my opinion.
So saying that's when you're supposed to plug your business and say at that point.
Right? Yeah, I know, right?
Along those lines, Michael, like, I feel like it's a really big red flag if the lender, like, won't get back. Like, if I'm a listing agent, I'm trying to call and like ask questions to the buyer's agent and they won't get back to me, should I be looking for like their higher up to talk to them, or like, that's like a hard thing. Like, that person doesn't know anything about the file most likely. So if I'm really like coming up against the wall, like, the lender just won't even respond to, their phone call. And usually we're on a time crunch with that offer, like, yeah, I need to respond within 12 hours or something like that, What do we do in that case? Besides, like, wow, this lender is such. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a challenging one. I've never had that issue because I pick up my phone and I have my cell phone, people can call or text or email anytime. But when it comes to other people, you could go higher up and look up the branch as a whole, and usually they have someone at the front desk, depending. I mean, if it's Rocket Mortgage, you're kind of screwed, or if it's anyone online that you can't really get a hold of, then you're kind of SOL at that point. But if it's somebody local and they're not responding, or if they have a physical office somewhere, then absolutely I would call and say, hey, I need to get a hold of this person. Because usually if a lender's not picking up, they're either busy, actually, or a lot of times maybe they're just dodging your calls because they have some bad news, or they're not sure about certain things.
And I do.
I didn't say that though, that's an industry secret.
I do have one loan officer at Rocket Mortgage that does not suck.
That's good.
He knows if your buyer is adamant of going with them for some reason in the universe. I got one guy, he talked to me on the weekend. So that's, yep. And he texted me. So yeah. Like my favorite, Michael. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, let me remove spotlight so people don't see blush. Okay. Family reunion. Sign up. Let's go.
Yay. Has anybody in here signed up yet?
Yeah. Well, I thought we were just like, we're gonna be roomies. Yeah. Cause we're not gonna party. We don't drink. We don't stay up till 2 a.m. It's not the 2021.
The only thing that I do is get up early.
Yeah, no, you just gotta be real quiet.
Yeah. It's fine. I'll have everything out the day before.
It'll help me wake up early, so it's beneficial. It's
You have to
good.
get up early anyway for the breakout.
She's like 4. You're like,
4, 5.
yeah.
She's like,
I ain't doing that. It's fine. It's fine. I sleep like a rock. So,
anything, I'm like, wake up.
yeah. No, I'm an expert sleeper. Michael, do you want to say more stuff, or was that kind of your things?
I want to say more.
Oh. All right.
I like that.
So first, actually, I heard you kind of throwing some shade towards the millennials, and I think it's time that we kind of tweak that. So I'll have you know, millennials in 3 years, all of us are going to be in our 30s. No one will be in their 20s anymore. So it's from 81 to 96. So I think we need to start throwing all our shade towards Gen Z and Gen A, which are 97 and forward, because the millennials are getting a bad rap at this point.
We have some Gen Z's in here. Come up.
Okay, so valid question. Okay, so when I say millennials, if you said it's 81 to whatever, I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
I didn't know what category.
You're an elder.
I didn't know what category it was in. They're like coming up with letters right and left. There's like Z. I didn't know there was. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know.
After Z.
What's after Z? What is?
A is after.
So when are those babies born?
Those are 2010 to next year.
Yeah.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Crazy reason now.
Interesting.
All right, so now that I've created some controversy, I'll talk about a couple small things.
Okay.
Oh.
So Ashley got a hold of me and asked if we had kind of, what's that?
Go on.
Ashley got a hold of me and asked if we had kind of a generic list about things that would get called out on an appraisal, and there's not really. So when it comes to conventional appraisals, honestly, so long as the house is not falling down and the 3 main ticket items are completed, really anything passes conventional appraisal when it comes to getting called out. So those 3 items that I see most often: hot water tank straps, earthquake straps, also known as CO2 detectors, and smoke detectors. Those are the 3 things. There needs to be a smoke detector in every room, a CO2 detector on every floor, and you got to have the hot water tank strapped. Other than that, a conventional appraisal is usually pretty easy. Now, FHA as a whole, FHA, USDA, and VA are a totally different ballgame. So I just looked it up just to say, all right, what is FHA's 3 requirements for being basically minimum property standards? It's safe, secure, and structurally sound. So, and that's going to go by FHA, VA, or FHA, VA, or USDA. So the government-backed loans. So what that means is that they are going to pick it apart a little more when it comes to safe, secure, and structurally sound. If it's a leaky roof, doesn't fall under that. If it's peeling paint, it's not going to be structurally sound eventually once water gets in there and so on. So when it comes to that type of stuff and you have a loan that is not conventional, you just have to ask yourself, is it safe, secure, and structurally sound? And you can get a little bit nitpicky. FHA appraisers are not inspectors, though. They're not going to go into the wall. They're going to look at things at face value. They'll probably crawl under the house a little bit. They'll peek in the crawl space. They'll definitely look at paint inside. So if they have something on the ceiling that looks like water damage, they could potentially call that out and make sure that you get an inspection from a roofer to make sure there's no leaks, so on and so forth. So while there's not a generic list, you can use common sense to kind of look at the overall condition of a house. And if it does have peeling paint on the outside, if there's railings missing, if there's exposed wood in areas, if things are touching the house, like plants, stuff like that, then you can kind of get through most of that just based off of common sense. If you have questions, just let us know. Text a picture to me. I get that all the time. Hey, was this something that would get called out on an FHA loan? And I can say yes, most likely, because I've seen hundreds of thousands of FHA loan appraisals at this point. One other thing to note on that, if there's no questions first.
I have a question, comment
Yes.
question. I always get confused, which I think we talked about this last week, but I talked to an appraiser yesterday that's going out today and I got a whole different answer. I always get confused if smoke detectors are required in the bedrooms or just the hallway outside the bedrooms, because I see houses that don't have them, and he was like, oh, this is conventional, the hallway's fine. But so I don't know if it's like FHA wants it in the bedrooms too and conventional doesn't care, or if I have a real chill appraiser that doesn't care about anything.
I have an appraiser that I can text. I'll text and I'll shoot you an answer.
Does anybody that's been in real estate longer than me know the answer?
I think
Well, at least
current building code is that there is a smoke detector in each room, because I had to have a building inspector in my house for my STR permit.
Yeah.
And they required us to put a smoke detector
sounds like it
inside
makes
of
sense
each bedroom
also.
and then
Mhm.
one on each level. So I probably just depends on the appraisal, like
Yeah.
how much of a tight up.
Because I never see like smoke detectors in living rooms, or like I always think it's like
Always
I
the
see
kitchen, the
hallway,
hallways. Yeah.
nothing, nowhere else. And I just keep not knowing. Or I forget. I need everything in writing. Michael knows. I was like, text this to me. I'm never gonna remember what conforming loan means. He put it in a text last week and I took a screenshot. I'm like, okay, now I know what that means.
Honestly, I think Sydney is correct. It sounds like I think it's really up to the discretion of the appraiser, which it really shouldn't be, because there is guidelines, and really this comes to FHA. FHA is going to be the stickler. You can be an appraiser and not do FHA loans and just conventional. You have to actually be licensed to do an FHA appraisal. Actually, a couple more notes on that is you can have an FHA, you can use an FHA appraisal on a conventional loan. So for whatever reason, if you have a buyer that's going FHA and they want to switch to conventional, you don't really need to do anything. If you have a conventional buyer that for some reason, which happens every once in a while, now has to go FHA, you have to get that appraisal updated. If that appraiser is an FHA appraiser, then they can go in and make the updates themselves. If not, you may potentially have to order a new one to make sure you're good to go as far as guidelines. And again, on that note, FHA case numbers are stuck with a property for 6 months. Just so you know, this just happened to me. So we had somebody get in contract on a house, and turns out someone prior to had been in a contract on that house before a couple weeks later, and it was an FHA loan. I think it was Rocket Mortgage that opened up the FHA case number. We can't get anything ordered, an appraisal or anything, until we have that FHA case number transferred to us. So depending on the lender of who's transferring, that one particular took 10 days to get it transferred. So 10 days of our contract time was stuck waiting for that lender to transfer the case number, and you can't get around this. So just note that if you're a listing agent and you have an offer fall through on a listing and it was FHA, and then you receive another FHA loan offer on the new, whatever, you get a new contract that's also FHA, something to keep in mind that, hey, we could maybe tell our buyer's lender that this was an FHA number or an FHA loan before, and we'll need to get that transferred so they can get the ball rolling. So that sounds like a lot, but basically just with FHA, it has a specific case number tied to the property for 6 months. After 6 months, it falls off, but up until that point, you have to have that transferred if it falls through.
Ellie, did you have a question?
I was just curious if it depended on how old the house was they were appraising, if the rules were different when it was built, or if they have to update to the new code.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, if it's depending on are you talking about like smoke detectors, things like that? Yeah, I think honestly that will kind of decide, because if there's not even I mean, you can get battery powered smoke detectors that aren't hardwired in. But I'm going to check with my appraiser to get an answer. So I'll text Ashley the specific answer once I get that. Because I think it will change a little bit for the age of the home. But like Sydney said, current building, I think it's required to be in every room. And I've seen that on most reports.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's all I got now.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Let's see. Side note, because I got a text from a deal falling through. What is because she said she was gonna send a rescission agreement. Isn't that the one you don't send?
Form 50, it should be the earnest money disbursement
They haven't turned it in yet.
90, don't you need one of the 90s, right?
or some notice.
Isn't there a 50 something?
Yeah,
That's for the earnest money, but then you also have
They
one of
haven't paid any earnest money, then it's just the notice that they're terminating.
Okay, do you know what? So it's not the rescission, right?
No,
Okay.
that's like.
Do you know the form she?
I have transaction just pulled up.
I love that.
What reason is it? Is it inspection? Is it?
They just got a very high tax bill that they were not expecting, so my cash deal is not going through, so Kara's gonna talk to her buyer and gonna do the deal with Kara maybe instead. So it just went pending like hours ago, and now, I mean, it's been like half a day under contract.
So then they want to withdraw their offer.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, do you mean form?
And I
Whatever
think it's
number.
36, is it A counter,
Oh, we accepted it, we're mutual. So it's not like a withdrawal of,
oh, okay.
yeah.
So it's one of the terminations, which is all the 90s. So there's like Form 90N, Form MB, all these ones.
90 is a blank.
Oh, is there a blank form?
Notice,
90?
yeah, it's just.
Yeah,
notice.
90 is
Just blank.
Termination.
So Form 90.
Okay, do you form? Cause yeah, we're not supposed to do like rescission at all, ever, right?
Well,
Different brokerages will advise this.
let's say both, I have, and the husband, they had it listed for like maybe 90
Oh.
days, and then the husband got a death sentence. I mean, they found out, and So the buyer and the seller agree, they're just gonna do a decision, and it's gonna go back to the way it was.
Gotcha, just to undo.
Yeah. So that's an example.
Okay.
Of that.
Well, it's like, we just went mutual, nothing's been done, no earnest money, no any of the
How
things,
long
I
was
haven't
the-
even changed it to pending yet.
How long was the information verification?
They waived it.
Cause there's one for that, it's Form 19,
Yeah.
but there is a blank one.
So maybe the rescission isn't really gonna be, I mean, if they
Do they
send
have
that,
an
it's kind of
inspection
meh
though? Yeah, they
anyways.
can back it out and then public for waves. Yeah, all of the ways, so however they wanna do it. Just
Whatever
make sure it's
form.
a Form 90, cause Russ doesn't like recipients.
That's what she wants to send.
Yeah.
So,
say-
okay, 490.
Because they like. How would you explain that, Martha? Why Russ doesn't like
Notice
recipients
denial to
versus
financing.
Because it creates like it never has. And so it's like there's.
This is a good
Yeah.
learning discussion out of nowhere. I
Yeah.
love this. Mystery, anybody on Zoom have a take on the form to use?
Yeah. I don't know,
Anybody,
there's- it's like-
anybody?
It's one of those CYA things. Yeah. Don't know. Why, I'm sure there's a lawsuit.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So if there was a inspection or,
No, this was like, this was the shortest offer you'd ever seen, that cash
Yeah.
one from like a day ago. So they found out they now have to pay a ton in taxes, so they don't wanna buy it because that's the cash that they had to purchase it. So it's kinda like, they haven't turned in earnest money, we were gonna do an 8-day close. They waived their information verification period, they have no financing anything,
they may,
they
but
have.
they haven't paid them.
Correct, so it's like, I don't think they really have a way out. But they haven't, I mean, there's no
There's no-
repercussion if like, I'm like, you have to buy this, it's not worth it. So, just confirm, oh, that's my, so, yeah, I guess I'll see what form she surprises me with. And, I really,
Did you say you need another Form 90s?
yeah, I said, do you mean Form 90, one of the Form 90s? And she read it and I have no answer yet, so she's thinking. Okay.
Oh, what Michael said?
Yes, Michael said, just confirm an FHA, smoke detectors are required in every living area and one in each bedroom regardless of the age of the home. Okay, so living area just means like downstairs, if there's like 2 living rooms, or if
Yeah.
there's 1 living room.
Yep.
So 1 in each, if there's like a family room and a living room, both.
Correct.
There's just 1, okay.
So that's a good example of why you don't waive everything.
Yeah.
Yes, no, great example of, yeah.
You
It
know,
was-
if they had even a RA or a T,
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of nothing. It's like a
Yeah.
22D and here's all our money. So, which was nice for about an hour. So anyways, we'll get a better offer from Kara. Or anybody else that's interested in 202 Sunrise Way. Sorry. Not for you. Sorry, that was a little. That was crazy.
So actually, there's also from the seller side, if the buyer side doesn't respond right away,
Mhm.
was there earnest money?
Mm-mm.
There
No.
was not.
Yeah.
It was zero, it was all gonna be cash.
There was earnest money, but they haven't turned it in yet.
But do win.
2 days.
Okay, so if that time does pass and they haven't,
And they haven't turned in.
then the seller can do it.
Okay.
Because of that.
Okay, that makes sense.
So who gives the buyer?
Yeah, no, that's, yeah. Okay, so bring me another offer that's better and let my seller leave all of his crap on the property. Cause, yeah, there's trucks and there's things. There is a suite and one of them works. So sorry.
Not helping you.
This is an anthill. Do not go near the pallet. It's a substantial anthill. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. But I mean, it's not like by the front door, so everything's fine. It's Badger Mountain. Like nobody cares up there. It's wild. Badger Mountain's fun. Okay, sign up for this. And I need to sign up for this, just like I said last week. Here. Oh. And it is a Monday when I have. So I'm gonna cancel all my yeah, that's.
You're not
during-
on Wednesday.
25th, I read second. Okay. Never mind. So this is gonna be in place of contracts and sales rally, so everybody. There will be food of some sort. It won't be Jimmy John's, right? Or- okay. Yep, I mean, it's fine. I think we've just. Yeah, and I think we've overkilled. How much money?
$17 for a kid sandwich.
Yeah, that's not okay. Yeah, I don't like that. Right. Well, it's like, you remember Subway, like $5 footlongs?
Oh,
So-
I still get,
Wait,
wait,
$12
I still
something.
get 6-inch ones because if you do the promo code, if you order it online and you do sub 349, it's $3.49.
In the note.
I'm paying like $5 for a sandwich, so.
Nina's selling it there, and I think it was like $8 or $9 for my little 6-inch.
Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous.
We have a
Uh,
secret code for dogs.
You should just secret codes. Oh, I'm so down. If anybody else on Zoom has secret codes for food discounts, just throw it in the chat. I'm real serious. I love food. Everyone knows that.
$1 saved is $1 earned.
Yeah, 100%. Have you guys seen the things on TikTok and online about girl math?
Yeah.
Anybody know about girl math?
Yeah, right.
Girl math. It'll be on your phone now. You'll see it because they said it out loud. It's really how to justify your purchases. How women justify their purchases.
I buy a pair of shoes for $100 and I return it.
You made $100.
And every money
You can buy it. It's basically free.
go into a store with, you're gonna spend like, in your mind, you're like, oh, I'm gonna spend $200, but you only spend $100.
You just made $100.
You
If you buy concert tickets.
Yes, it's free.
Concert, it's free. Basically free. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love girl math.
Michael's laughing at me.
No, everybody should be laughing. It's like highly entertaining and it all makes sense. Ask any woman that has ever, ask mom. Stella's shaking her head. Don't ask Stella. Don't ask my husband either.
Or if you, did you already say this one? If you buy something and then refund it, that's free money and you can spend it on whatever.
Yes. Girl
I mean,
math.
it's money that was already gone.
It was,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's already gone. It was not expected to come back.
It's there, and then you go to
It's-
order and you think you have to load money onto it. I'm like, I have a free drink.
Any money that is loaded on a Starbucks card, free. Yeah.
$25 reload is dangerous.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I love it, like all of the room. Oh, I skipped that. Okay, listings. Does anybody want to highlight a listing, buyers that need things? I won't say to bring offers for Sunrise Way because Kara's gonna find cash and buy it and stop making you sad. Anybody things?
I have an Ephrata listing that's just sitting and
Mhm.
we all know it's overpriced.
Oh,
So
Just bring something so the sellers are realistic.
And a few
the
chickens.
seller needs.
If you text or email me the address, then we'll put it in the notes.
It's Painted Hills, so it's a really beautiful neighborhood.
That sounds, yeah, I don't even know that, but just the name makes it sound pretty. So, sweet. So bring offers. Okay, so Russ is gone hunting, whatever he's hunting. So, I don't know, he's out in the woods. So we're doing it kind of like an open forum of, so far it's me, Seth, Sydney, Aaron, and Sarah, maybe, I think Sarah, yes. So we're just gonna kind of be up here and anybody can ask whatever questions. Or if anybody else wants to be up on a little panel. So like listing strategies or scripts, or what if the seller says this and I don't know about this, and yeah, any and all of the questions. It will just be in the office, so it won't be on Zoom. Because I think the last time I got a horrible glare we'll let you guys know if we change that and it's gonna be on Zoom as well, but I'm pretty sure it will just be in person.
Maybe if they want their questions answered, they have to come here in person.
Kelly's saying come to the office. Yes, so that should be fun. I think it'll be good. And, I believe, I didn't hear back from Sarah, but are we gonna do this just instead of like script practice? Like skip that so we aren't doing stuff for like 5 hours?
I think we're still planning on doing script practice.
Still doing it.
After, yeah, I think it just depends on how long.
Okay, how long it goes for?
Yeah.
Okay, so play it by ear. Okay. Sounds good. Tech training next week. Everybody should have gotten an email from me about how the Facebook ads suck right now and we can't even find, like I searched my listings and it only showed 2 sold ones from like 2.5 years ago. And I'm very unhappy and Amanda can't find any of hers. I couldn't even find my new one a day after. So we have like a big glitch. And I talked to the regional lady and she said, yeah, support has to, like, they have to do stuff in the background. So if everybody would like to copy my text and include my video, so it's less work for you guys and we can just bombard them with support tickets, that would be better for everybody. So you can run some ads for Kara's listing and get it sold.
The more tickets they get, the faster they get on it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I plan on being annoying every couple days and like submitting a new one. But, we have like, 30 of us do the same thing. I would highly.
Who's done it?
Sydney's done it. Yes. Has anybody else
I'll do it today.
helped out Ashley? Okay, we
2
got
minutes.
2
It's pretty
people.
quick.
Yes, it is like literally 2 minutes.
And if you're looking, I kind of like scrolled around, I was like, where's the submit a ticket? It's at the very top right-hand corner, so.
Tiny
don't
font,
be
little
silly
tiny
like
font.
me And
Mhm.
find it fast.
And it is actually a sweet website as well. You can find so many written articles on how to do stuff.
Answers.kw.com.
Yep. So please help me, because I don't like the Facebook like way to do ads. It annoys me. The whole layout is stupid. So
I don't know how it's.
yeah, it's real dumb.
Also costs more too.
Really?
Yeah, I think if you do it directly from Facebook, yeah.
Oh, dumb.
They've negotiated the rate.
Gotcha. So yeah, I would really like things to be better. I mean, whenever they update stuff, there's bugs, but this has been going on for too long, so I do not agree with it anymore. Contracts class, are you still doing most common?
Over here.
You're right now. Are you still doing the common
Now
command?
on the contract side.
On the okay, perfect. So yeah, good class to come to.
And I sent out the actual sheet by email for those on Zoom, so you can print that out and follow along.
Perfect. Sweet. Anybody have apps or things, resources, websites that they love or like or want to share? I don't really have any new ones.
My most favorite one right now is Jose. He's helping our internet.
Jose, can I use your stupid Adobe printing? Can I talk about how dumb that is? Okay, does anybody else have an issue with, don't know what's going on. So with Transaction Desk, you have your forms and you could be like, oh, download PDF, right? And then you just push through. Okay, a lot of like, for everybody, right? No, not for Jose. It will pull up in like a Google Chrome window. And then it'll be like .html something. So then we went into settings and we switched it to download file rather than show on web page. But then when we do that, that's when it like wouldn't print, right? Like it just won't print. And I do not understand what's going on. It's like it almost wants him to do something in Adobe, but there's no reason we should have to download.
Because of the password protection that Transaction Desk forces onto a lot of those PDFs.
Yeah.
We have to print the
Okay.
PDF every time,
Yeah.
because we can't just
Yeah.
email the PDF to somebody. When we go to put it in command, it shows up as password protected too. So it's very frustrating. I tried to talk to Transaction Desk about it.
But I don't even think we could print a PDF. Like, I forget there was so much weirdness that we ran into that I can't even remember all of it.
Just said, keep it easy.
Yeah, I've gone into the back end of settings and told them not to do that, and it still does it.
It could be also Windows 11 thing.
Oh, you were thinking it was maybe Windows 11.
I have Windows though, and I
I have no problem doing it.
Hmm.
It's a file level issue. It's not an operating system.
I think so, too. Every time the Windows updates, it changes the default program. I run into that problem. All of a sudden, my browser is, this stupid Windows Edge.
Oh, the Microsoft Edge, yeah?
It changes, the
Yeah.
update changes
Mhm.
defaults back to whatever they want.
Yeah. Interesting. Technology is annoying. Just leave it. Leave it there.
Just feel
You
like
know?
those old people carry it in my hand, and you don't have that problem.
We could be faxing everything. That's some gratitude.
It is interesting. It still shows like fax number for the brokerage on our purchases.
Could be doing copies.
The fax, when I started, we did fax. Yeah, that was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. So no tech thingies. Brokers tour. Go do it. That's it. Unless anybody has anything else.
I have a question I want to throw in, kind of unrelated, but
Yeah.
also related.
Mhm.
In regards to the class action lawsuit
Mhm.
going on, about, buyer's agency. Does anybody have any, maybe good info on the, how it's playing out and what the repercussions could be on, if any repercussions started already in terms of buyer's agency and buyer's commission, buyer's agent?
So I was
I know-
actually.
The only thing I know that's, one of the big, nationwide brokerages settled for like over $20 million.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, on the 72 Souls calls, they go over it quite a bit, and so it was, I think it's called Anywhere Real Estate, which is like Berkshire Hathaway is under that. umbrella. So they did a big settlement, yeah. But so here locally, like the Northwest MLS has been like watching this, and so that's where last year they changed that commission structure, so it's optional for everybody using Northwest MLS brokerage stuff. The seller does not have to offer a buyer's agency compensation, and that's why, you know, we've kind of been talking about using those buyer brokerage agreements to protect yourself as an agent, so then that you can get that worked into as closing costs, so your buyer doesn't have to come out of pocket. So it's kind of like, if the money's coming from the same place, but that's like the workaround, so that the seller doesn't feel like they absolutely have to pay the buyer's agent. So that's all I have to say really about that.
I'm not seeing really no changes.
There's no-
in
yeah,
compensation.
Absolutely.
Look at listings, still 2.5%,
Mm-hmm.
3%, sometimes 31.
Yeah. Well, and the way that I've been talking to sellers about it is, yeah, it's like I haven't really seen any listings that aren't doing it the way that it's always been, and everything's expensive. Buyers, they're already having to come in with their down payment. They can't finance paying their buyer's agent commission, so it's like it could be kind of hindering your listing. I don't know if I should be, I mean, that sounds good, right?
No.
I
It
just
will
kind of
limit the
spitball.
pool of buyers that
Limit the, yeah,
come up
that's
with
what
the
I'm talking to
commission.
people. Okay, because I just spitball a lot of things, so hopefully that sounds good. So with the other, I was supposed to put this slide on there, but I missed it. So October 6th, Annie Fitzsimmons will be in town at Pybus to go over the change in the agency law pamphlet. So that's a good in-person one. If you go to the, well, they have the link here and you should get the emails with the classes. So, yeah, sign up for that. And I think that's all I got, unless Zoom people's got any things. Zoomers. Yep. I can hear it. Sarah, did you have a question?
No, I said I'm good.
Okay. No, go away. Oh, I left my window open for 6 hours yesterday in the house accidentally, and there are the tiniest little gnat bugs. It's not like fruit gnats. It's just like I walked through a cloud of them yesterday near my house, walking the dog, just little black, little flying something, and they're in my house, all over my house.
Get a cat.
So,
2 kids.
yeah, my husband's allergic to cats, so I can't.
So was I.
Allergic. Your eyes get itchy. Your mom doesn't clean her house. Like, that's why your eyes are itchy. Yeah, it's just a baby. Okay, well, bye, everybody. Now I'm just ranting about things. Goodbye. Contract class will be up in like 10 minutes.
If they choose to another park, I'll let you know.
It's just an older cat because, yeah, kittens.
They are the worst. So much, and I like it.